My name's Kate. I play Katie in Katie and the Mona Lisa. She's a 7-year-old girl. She's very enthusiastic and inquisitive and has a lovely, big imagination. And she visits the National Portrait Gallery with her grandma. And she has lots of adventures there. She finds lots of new people and manages to do lots of wonderful things that other visitors may not have been able to do. Yeah. So Katie and her gran visit the National Portrait Gallery. Her gran then goes to the cafe for a cup of tea and leaves Katie on her own. And Katie manages to meet the Mona Lisa, who initially is of course still painting, but she comes to life. And Katie steps inside her frame, and the Mona Lisa tells her that she has lost her smile, the famous Mona Lisa smile, and so Katie's determined to bring back this famous smile. And so they step out of this frame together this time and wander the gallery, and they find lots of other pictures. They find St. George and the Dragon, and they have an adventure in that one, and they meet all of the people in that picture. And then they go into the Primavera picture with Venus and Mercury and the Three Graces. And they again have an adventure with those characters. And then they meet the lion in the Lion of St. Mark. So they go to Venice, they travel in a gondola, they meet street vendors who sell them lots of lovely food, and they fly on a lion's back. So it's very, very magical and very exciting, especially for a small 7-year-old girl who thought she was just going to be looking at still pictures all day. And eventually she does find her gran at the end of the day, and she tells her what she's done and what's happened to her, but her gran doesn't quite believe it. Katie and her gran visit the National Portrait Gallery. She's up in London for a day, and they travel there on a bus. It's the first time that Katie's done this, so it's a very exciting day. Once she's there, once they arrive, her gran goes off to the cafe and leaves Katie alone for what she thinks will be 5 minutes, while she goes and grabs her cup of tea or whatever. Katie then decides to wander and to meet new people and to have adventures and make the most of this time without her gran. And she does that. She makes the most of the time, and she has lots of lovely adventures and meets lots of wonderful new people. Katie and the Mona Lisa is a magical story of the adventures of an imaginative 7-year-old girl.
Perfect. I'm Alex, and I play St. George, and I also play Leo, the big scary lion. St. George is kind of the main romantic influence in the show, who Mona Lisa falls in love with him in the first scene. He's very dashing and falls in love with his charms and good looks, hopefully. And he spends lots of time running around after the dragon, getting into lots of scrapes, and has lots of fun. And Leo the lion starts as a bit of a baddie. He comes out and he wants to eat everyone, but actually he turns up being a lovely guy and flies everyone off to a lovely adventure in Venice, and has lots of fun. So Katie and the Mona Lisa is a new musical for kids based on the lovely, lovely children's book by James Mayhew. And it's all about this little girl, Katie, that goes to an art gallery with her gran, and she gets left alone with one of the most famous pictures in the world with the Mona Lisa. And all of a sudden the Mona Lisa comes to life, and they go on this magical adventure around the art gallery trying to restore Mona Lisa's smile, but she's been there for 500 years. And it's a really, really charming adventure that I think encourages children to, you know, put down their iPhones, put down the Xboxes, and come to the theatre and allow their imagination to just take flight, and you meet all these different characters. And it's so charming and traditional at its core. It really restores what everything theatre should be about for kids. So, Katie and the Mona Lisa is a fun, energetic new musical for kids, and everyone, whether you're 5 or 100, will absolutely love it.
Perfect.
Lovely.
Hello, I'm Chris, and I play the Grandma, Dragon, part of the Three Graces, and then a pasta seller towards the end. The Grandma is a character, it's a warm, lovely character who takes Katie on her journey to London, and then she goes off for a cup of tea, and then she comes back at the end, so you don't see much of her. And the Dragon, he's what do I say about the dragon? Dragon's just a huge, big costume dragon, panto dragon, trying to eat everyone. He's very hungry, and he tries to get his way and eat all the characters. Then you meet the Three Graces, which is another woman character with 2 puppets on my hands, so I've got 3 heads, so that's always fun to try and control 2 other people. And then I'm a pasta seller in Venice who just wants to sell all the food to Katie and the Mona Lisa.
Perfect. That's right.
So Katie and the Mona Lisa is a new kids musical. We rehearsed it in London, and it's the first time brought to Edinburgh Fringe. We're in the Pleasance 1 here, Edinburgh, great venue, just amazing set, big story about a little girl going to London with her grandma on a trip out, and I think everyone can relate to it because I remember going as a child on trips out with the family in the half-term holiday. She goes in and out of the galleries, the pictures come alive, and she tries to find the Mona Lisa's smile back, and they just go on this adventure through all the different pictures throughout it. I think Katie and the Mona Lisa is a family-friendly, upbeat, physical, family-friendly comedy with lots of humour that can relate to adults and children, and it's just a nice way for children to see how they use imagination and just a really imaginative way of seeing things come to life, and you should all come and see it.
That's great.
Katie and the Mona Lisa is a family-friendly musical with new songs, and it just shows how children use their imagination. Beautiful story.
We'll go with the first.
Is that alright? So I don't know how to.
Real fun.
Hi, I'm Connie, and I play the Mona Lisa.
Right.
The Mona Lisa, she is 500 years old, roughly, give or take a few hundred, and she's obviously a very famous painting by Leonardo da Vinci. In this show, she comes to life after 500 years of being still and lonely in a frame, and obviously her enigmatic smile, as they describe it, which isn't quite a smile, but isn't a frown, which raises questions as what she's thinking about, and that's kind of the basis on the whole plot. This production is really colourful. It's spectacular. There's so much going on. It's quite funny as well. A little bit of adult humour in there for the grown-ups, but equally it's hilarious for the kids. There's a lot of slapsticky type stuff, and the costumes are beautiful. Some of them are directly from the BBC, and they're just. It's all loud. It's all in your face, and it's great. But there's a real heartfelt message to it about friendship and people wanting to help other people and stuff. So it's a really happy, lovely family feel. Katie and the Mona Lisa, a fun-filled adventure for the whole family of all ages.
Hi, I'm Bianca Bakey. I play the Princess, I play Venus, and the Pasta Seller. The Princess is very modern. She's quite boisterous, but very much in love with St. George. Venus is very calm, very welcoming. She's the goddess of love. And the Pasta Seller just loves pasta, very jolly, and yeah, it's a very fun track. So the production follows a 7-year-old girl and her grandmother, and they go to the National Gallery, and she gets left by herself, and she makes friends with the Mona Lisa, and they go on wild adventures and different paintings, and everything goes a bit crazy, but it's very warm and very friendly and very charming as a show. I thought, again, the story is very charming. It's great for all ages. Our musical stays very true to the story. And yeah, it's just a bit of fun for the family, really. Katie and Mona Lisa in one line. Charming musical, family fun, great adventure. Just come along.
Lovely. So, my name's Christopher Todd. I play the bus driver, primarily the museum guard, and then finally the guardian angel. The guard is really the villain of the piece. They're always chasing Katie around the gallery, but he is also kind of the lovable, bumbling fool as well. He's sort of the traditional sort of pantomime dame Baron Hardup style character who gets everybody hating him but also loving him at the same time. Right, good. So, Katie and the Mona Lisa. It covers a lot about art history. It's sort of a step away from the traditional kids show format. Unfortunately, a lot of people have the idea that it's just people jumping around in bright colours, making noise just to keep the kids entertained for half an hour. This is a kids musical. It's a nice introduction for children of any age really, from a young age, or just if they're around about 10 years, 15, and they've just not seen a musical before. It's a nice insight as to what musicals can be, with the elements of a kids show which still keep it fun, still keep it vibrant and enjoyable, not just for the kids but also for the parents as well. So like I say, we have my character who keeps everybody laughing, also has them hating him. We have the Mona Lisa, who is this iconic figure who everybody knows, and you see a nice softer side to her as opposed to the not having any clue what she's like as a person. Katie, the quintessential child, excitable, inquisitive, who moves the story along. And then we've got all the weird and wonderful characters like St. George, the dragon, the princess, even the pasta sellers. Everybody has their place because we cover so many different paintings and eras of art as well in the show. So it just gives, like I say, a lovely insight into the art world without it being a history lesson. Katie and Mona Lisa in one line. The easiest way to sum it up is it's a charming kids musical that is fun for all the family, no matter what the age.